The power of the Huddle Up platform comes from the collective feedback of the group to help each solution become better. And we call these experiences huddles. So you can see we have 5 different huddles. At the moment, we have 3 of them operational. As you can see, Sort By and Rubric are not quite finished yet. Each huddle is set up in order to allow users to give feedback on a specific run that they have previously completed. So let's set up the star ratings to look at one of our previous runs and allow users to give feedback. First, we name our star rating. Again, we could give our star rating an uploaded image. We can determine when would we like this huddle to appear. Let's have it appear immediately. And again, we can have a due date for when users would need to finish this huddle. Our huddle comes with some default text, and we can add more. And for each huddle, the project leader will determine which previously completed run every user will give feedback on. In this case, we'll have them give feedback on ideas for Huddle Up. Each huddle allows the project leader to determine how many users can be given feedback. Would you like each user to give feedback to everyone or just to a specific number? As you can see, this huddle includes 8 different users. And we'll set this one up so that each user evaluates 3 other users. You can see that we can match them up randomly and just click this button, and each user on the left is populated with 3 other users which need to be evaluated. Or we can assign them manually simply by clicking this and perhaps closing one out and adding a new user such as user 2. In this way, everyone has 3 different users they need to evaluate. Our last question says, when can a user see feedback from others? Would you like this huddle's feedback to appear immediately, or would you like to set a date when it would appear in the future? Again, for the sake of this tutorial, we'll have it appear immediately. And the last section of the huddle talks of visibility. The feedback that is given to each user is going to be visible to a certain group. As the project leader, you can set that. Would you like it to be visible to everyone, or just the project leader, the recipient, and the rater? In other words, 3 people. Since we're aiming for a public show of feedback here, we'll make all of the feedback visible to everyone. And lastly, the project leader gets to determine the confidentiality of the comments. Would you like the comments and feedback that are shared to have a name attached to them? Or should they just be anonymous to the recipient? In all cases, the project leader will always be able to see the name attached. Again, in this case, we'll say not anonymous, so that feedback that is shared will have a name attached and everyone can see who gave feedback to whom. You have a toggle switch here. Would you like to allow the rater to include additional text with his star ratings? Yes or no? We'll click yes because we'd like that option to be given. Would you like to require that text is shared? In this case, we'll say no. And would you like them to do this huddle before they complete the next section in the learning plan? And again, we'll say no and we'll leave this open. We'll publish this huddle. And you can see our newly created huddle appears here on the left. Okay, let's take a look at what this huddle looks like from a student's perspective. As we come into the star ratings huddle, this user number 2, looks at his star ratings. The first user he needs to evaluate is Jim. He can evaluate Jim's answer here. And for this, he might give Jim 4 stars. And we'll just give a very general comment like good job. And user 2 would proceed down and look at all the answers given by other users. And you can see in this case, user 5 was the 3rd user that need to be evaluated. And user 5 has not yet submitted his initial answer, so user 2 cannot evaluate user 5. And we submit those star ratings, and that data is now shared with each of the respective users.